Introducing the Traveler Deck Plan Symbols font by Quantum Enterprises. Easily add deck plan grid lines, symbols, furnishings, nose cones, drives, thrusters, turrets, and other information with the press of a key. Grid lines, symbols, furnishings, stairs, nose cones, drives, thruster nozzles, turrets, and other deck plan information. Let's see the Traveler Deck Plan Symbols font in action. Thanks to James K. Bruce for supplying his drawing of a Raja-class yacht, which we will use as a guide to make a professional-looking deck plan. There are many graphics applications you could use with our deck plan font, but you don't need anything complex. In fact, we're going to use Microsoft PowerPoint for this demonstration. You'll first need to decide what size of paper to choose in the application you are going to use. You have the choice of whether you want to produce an actual size deck plan or a smaller version that can be upscaled later. Count the maximum height and width of your ship in grid lines and decide which is the best paper size to use with our paper size guide. Don't forget to allow for a border. Our whole deck plan drawing needs a paper size of 36 × 47 grid lines, which is too large, so we'll put each deck on a separate sheet of A2 paper and concentrate on the lower deck for this demo. Once we've imported the sketch of the lower deck, we can then use the characters A to G in the font to type out our grid. First, we'll adjust the sketch size so that the square sizes in the drawing match the typed grid squares. The A character produces a space exactly 1 grid square wide, so we can print blank spaces. The other elements are designed to produce a neat grid output. We'll type out the grid using the various grid elements, and won't worry if some grid lines spill outside of the hull outline, as they can be covered up later on. Now that the grid has been completed, we can draw in the bulkheads, interior walls, and sliding door lines. To make it easier to add curves, we have included some pre-made nose cone sections assigned to numbers 1 to 9 in the font. It's important to get the correct line thickness to represent the strength of the various hull elements. Here is a guide to the line thickness for each element, expressed in point sizes, for software that uses this for line weight such as PowerPoint, or width in millimeters, mm. We've added all the bulkheads now. So let's finish by adding interior walls and sliding doors. We'll now use the deck plan font to add the iris valves, hatches, and crew seats. First, we insert a text box. Type the letter that corresponds to the symbol we need, and then change the letter to the Traveler Deck Plan font. Once we've added the first iris valve, it's a simple case of copying, pasting, and rotating as necessary. The next stage is to add the drives and thruster nozzles. We've made it easy to add the drives to your craft using various size drive elements, like with the iris valves, etc. Create a text box, type the letter of the element you want, and then change to the Traveler Deck Plan font. As with the other deck plan elements, you can use the size guide in our user guide to select the correct point size. If your ship has very large drives, you can overlap multiple different drive elements to achieve the larger drive. If necessary, you can start with a central rectangular block of the same color you intend to use for the drive. We suggest a mid-gray, and then add the font drive elements around it. We've also provided 2 pre-made thruster nozzles to add to the end of the drives, so we'll add those onto our ship, even though they were not included in the original sketch. At this stage, other than adding some text, we now have a deck plan which closely matches the style and detail of basic traveler deck plans. However, FASA produced several detailed sets of deck plans in the 80s, with additional furnishings not seen in the GDW deck plans. In our deck plan, we will use the letters L to P in the font, plus period to add chairs, stools, sofas, couches, sinks, cookers, and beds. Other elements such as round and square tables, cupboards, desks, etc. can be produced using your graphics software. If you are keen to create the classic traveler look, then you should obtain a copy of the Universe font, as we're using here in our demonstration deck plan for the smaller text labels. We're using the Optima font for the main title, which resembles the classic traveler font. Both fonts are available for free with a Google search. We've added a border around the drawing as a finishing touch about 1 grid square in from the paper edge. If you wish, you can add a drawing details box in the bottom corner and fill in the details like we have done in this demo. The font also includes a scale and typical humans graphic to help illustrate the scale of the ship, which we'll add to our deck plan drawing. We've also added a deck plan symbols key by typing V, W, and then X in the font. And finally, we'd really appreciate it if somewhere on your deck plan you type the T key in the font to add a small logo that shows your new deck plan was created using our Traveler Deck Plan font. This helps spread the word that professional-looking Traveler deck plans are now within reach for everyone. Here's the finished lower deck of the SS Dravidian. We hope you found this video useful in showing how easy it is to make a professional-looking deck plan with the Traveler Deck Plan Symbols font by Quantum Enterprises. The Traveler Deck Plan Symbols font by Quantum Enterprises. Available at Drive-Thru RPG or via our website at quantumenterprises.co.uk.